And we're going to start with barriers. Rather than here's what I want the member to do, let's think about what we're asking them to do and say, where might they have concerns or barriers around that? And what are the sort of like human levers of those barriers? What does that feel like to the member if I ask something of someone? We use the MA population, and if we were to just say to a member on the street, which I think is a great role play to do this, hey, I would love it if you would join this great new program that we have for you. It's going to deliver your meds right to your door. You'll never have to go to the pharmacy again. You won't have to commute, etc. What might some of the feedback be on that? Now, you could take this as far as focus grouping it, which is a great idea too. But even just amongst yourselves and maybe asking friends and family, you can start to get to some of these things like a lot of members like talking to their pharmacists. One, there may be social interaction there. And two, they may just have that validation of, hey, I just wanted to run by everything I'm taking from you, even though I'm picking up this one prescription today. That might be a valued relationship. And so that would be a barrier to moving away from doing in person. How do I know it's safe? Is this really just a program that is going to end up costing me more money, or is it truly a value add to me? This is going to be too much work for me to administer. And even things as practical as what if somebody swipes these from my front door? I would, if I didn't have my medication for even a day, that could really be detrimental to me. And what we do is just accept these as they are. We can't pretend that they're valid or invalid. They represent how a member might feel. And they allow us to say, one, it stress tests what the answers of our program are to some of these things. Do we have good responses to these? But it starts to allow us also just to map. Okay, if somebody were to say, I like talking to my pharmacist, you might mention that you can still talk to a pharmacist anytime, and that the actual distribution of those medications has nothing to do with your ability to access that conversation. You can sort of go through and see these, but it's this mapping of, we actually have a pretty good perspective relative to any of these barriers that we've got a leg to stand on. We can tell the member that we appreciate those barriers, but they're ones that we really think that we've thought through, and they don't need to be concerned about this. Now, is this going to drive 100% participation in this program? No way. There are always going to be people who won't adopt something. But if we were going to be at 10%, if we had done none of this, and now that we've really done this process of addressing and breaking through barriers, maybe that puts us at 12%, at 15%, at 20%. That's the kind of incremental improvement that we're doing, again, without having additional cost or lift. It's just leveraging whatever your communication suite is today and including some of this thought into it.
Yes, we want to make sure there we go, show you how this is applied, and also know we're running out of time. So we'll make sure we get through the next little bit of information, and then I know we have some questions to answer.
So when you think about a piece of communication, and again, we're picking on a print piece here, and this might be the ID card, the welcome letter, but again, in the back of our minds, we're trying to drive this program. It's easy for a member to just read the content and say, okay, I've got the information here that they presented to me. As strategists, it's our job to say, what have we layered in here to make this thoughtful and a communications piece that really has the optimal chance of driving engagement. Again, if you were to place those measurement conversations up against this and say, A, B, C, D, E, here's what we did and what we included to try and address barriers, and we measure and find that that has a 10% participation rate in the call to action, we are now starting to get smarter about how we communicate with our population. And we can do it a little bit differently next time and see if the numbers go up even further. So we wanted to close with this because we know that oftentimes these strategic discussions really, they don't lend themselves to the practical, but screen cap it or do whatever you like with this, but we think that this is a really helpful way to start introducing this into sort of functional weekly meetings.